A North Texas lawmaker has filed a bill that would reduce what DART, Dallas Area Rapid Transit, could collect in taxes from its member cities. The cities say they want the money back to do what DART is not doing in their areas. DART says the loss in funds would be devastating. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us live with more. Sean.
Good evening to you, Clarice. In this proposed legislation, DART could lose about a fourth of what it gets in sales tax from its member cities. Now, not all of the 13 cities in DART's service circle, if you will, are balking at the dollars DART gets or how DART uses them. But if this legislation makes it through the session and becomes law, it would go in effect in September. DART delivers some 220,000 people on buses and trains to their destinations daily. The transit agency says proposed legislation that would cut by 25% what it collects from its member cities would mean changes that would go deep.
There would be significant impacts across the board to our workforce, as well as job access and the service levels that we provide.
DART's president and CEO Nadine Lee says up to 1,000 jobs could be slashed. For the passengers, it could take twice as long to get the bus or train you need.
We filed legislation. It really addresses all the cities that make up the DART system.
The bill to reduce what DART collects in taxes by 25%, written by State Rep Matt Shaheen, following non-binding votes by 6 of DART's 13 member cities to reduce what DART gets from them in sales tax. The cities say what DART's providing doesn't match the payout. Shaheen points to Plano.
They tax their residents at 1%. 1% of that sales tax goes to DART. And that's about over $100 million that goes to DART. The problem is that the city of Plano, the constituents, only receive about 40% of that back in the form of services. So there's this net deficit that's been occurring for years.
The DART board had conversations about the various asks that the cities have, and the DART board ultimately decided that we would prefer to provide more services to our cities rather than give cash to the cities, and that we would be happy to work with our cities.
It's a difficult balance. We obviously are going to fight hard for the transportation authorities, but we got cities that are, arguing equity with regard to how much they're paying into the system.
Mike Morris of the North Central Texas Council of Governments says cutting funding would have unintended consequences.
We don't know what DART would have to do if it got a significant cut. If it does X, it may not have a lot of consequences. If it does Y, it could have horrible consequences. And I don't think any of the parties fully understand the extent of these potential consequences.
So the best solution is for DART and the cities to kind of work it out right here. And Mike Morris says that's what he expects is going to happen. He's going to get the Regional Transportation Authority involved and try to get everybody at the table and work it out here, not in Austin, not in front of the legislature. DART, by the way, is a big part of the game plan for next year when World Cup Soccer comes to North Texas. At least it is right now with its current funding and current staffing.